We often fall into a dangerous spiritual trap when the moon of Ramadan is sighted. We look at the calendar and our minds immediately jump to the finish line. We think about the last 10 nights. We dream of finding Laylatul Qadr, and we plan our most intense worship for the final stretch of the month. We treat the beginning of Ramadan as a warm-up, a period where we slowly adjust our sleep schedules and get used to the hunger, thinking that the real power of the month doesn't arrive until the end. But if you understand the unseen mechanics of this holy month, you will realize that the first 10 days are not just a preparation. They are the most critical phase of your entire year. While the end of the month is about the harvest, the first 10 days are about the foundation. If the foundation is weak, the building will collapse before you ever reach the final nights. In the traditions of our scholars, these first 10 days are known as the days of Rahmah, the days of mercy, and there is a specific, exacting reason why Allah begins this journey with mercy before moving to forgiveness and freedom from hellfire. The moment the sun sets on the final day of Shaban, a massive shift occurs in the atmospheric gravity of the spiritual world. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, described this with a detail that should make your skin crawl with awe. He said that on the very first night of Ramadan, Allah looks at his creation. This isn't just the general seeing that Allah does at all times. This is a specific divine gaze of mercy. The scholars tell us that if Allah looks at a servant with this specific gaze of mercy on the first night, He will never, ever punish that servant again. Imagine the stakes of those first few hours. While most people are busy arguing about the moon sighting or taking photos of their first samosa at iftar, the King of the Universe is scanning the hearts of the Ummah. He is looking for the ones who are ready, the ones who have entered the month with a broken heart and a sincere intention. If you miss the energy of the first 10 days because you were waiting for the end, you might have missed the single most important gaze of your entire life. The first 10 days are also the period of the great spiritual detox. For 11 months, your soul has been marinating in the distractions of the world. Your Quareen, that Jinn companion we discussed, has had a free pass to whisper into your ear without any competition. Your heart has developed a layer of rust from the sins and the forgetfulness of the year. When you start fasting on day 1, you aren't just depriving your body of food, you are putting your soul through a high-pressure wash. This is why the first 10 days often feel the most difficult. You have the caffeine headaches, the irritability, and the physical exhaustion. But in the unseen world, these are the symptoms of your ego fighting for its life. For the first time in a year, the shaitans are chained and out of the way. You are left alone with yourself. This is the mirror phase. The first 10 days reveal to you exactly who you are without the devil's influence. If you are still lazy, if you are still angry, if you are still prone to lying, Ramadan is showing you your own baseline. This is an act of mercy from Allah. He gives you these 10 days to identify your internal bugs and glitches while the external enemies are locked away. If you don't use the first 10 days to debug your character, you will carry those same flaws into the last 10 nights, and they will prevent you from reaching the higher levels of worship. You cannot build a palace of Daikar on a swamp of bad habits. These first 10 days are the drainage phase where you clear out the waste of the year to make room for the light that is coming. Furthermore, we must look at the concept of momentum. In physics, specifically in the laws of motion, it takes significantly more energy to start a stationary object than it does to keep a moving object in motion. The first 10 days are your spiritual launch. If you start with a half-hearted effort, thinking you will pick it up later, you will find that by day 20 you are burnt out and exhausted. The people who truly experience the miracle of Laylatul Qadr are almost always the ones who were consistent from day 1. Why? Because the heart is like a battery that needs time to reach a full charge. The first 10 days of mercy are when Allah pours His grace into your heart to soften it. Just as you cannot plant a seed in frozen hard ground, You cannot plant the seeds of taqwa in a heart that hasn't been softened by the mercy of the first 10 days. During this initial phase, the unseen angels are descending in ranks to witness the beginning of the fast. They are recording the ones who show up to Fajr in the masjid when it's cold and difficult. They are recording the ones who bite their tongue when they want to argue. They are building the case for your forgiveness. By the time you reach the second 10 days, the angels have already gathered the evidence of your sincerity from the first 10. There is also a psychological secret to the number 10. Research into human habits often suggests that the first phase of any major change is the destruction phase, where the old self dies. This takes about 10 days. If you can survive the first 10 days with your discipline intact, your brain and your soul undergo a phase shift. The hunger stops being a pain and starts being a light. The prayer stops being a chore and starts being a comfort. If you treat the first 10 days as optional or less important, you never actually complete the destruction of the old sinful self. You remain in a state of spiritual limbo, where you are fasting but your soul is still attached to the habits of Shaban. This is why many people reach the end of Ramadan and feel like they didn't gain anything. They never let the first 10 days do their job. They never let the mercy melt away their arrogance. Think of the first 10 days as the investment period. Every subhanallah, every page of Quran, and every dollar of charity you give during these days is worth more in terms of spiritual capital. You are buying your way into the higher circles of the month. The Prophet, peace be upon him, was the most generous of people. But he became even more generous when Ramadan started. He didn't wait for the last 10 nights to start giving. He started the moment the moon was seen. He was setting the frequency for the entire month. As you navigate the first 10 days of this Ramadan, I want you to look at your exacting details. Don't just look at the big things. Look at how you treat the person serving you food. Look at how you talk to your parents when you are hungry. Look at the unseen thoughts that cross your mind when you think no one is watching. These 10 days are a gift of Rahmah. Allah knows you are weak. He knows you are coming out of a year of struggles. That is why He doesn't start with judgment or forgiveness. He starts with mercy. He opens the gates and says, just start. Just show me that you want to be better. The first 10 days are the low barrier to entry. Allah makes the reward immense for the smallest of efforts because He wants to pull you in. But do not mistake His mercy for an excuse to be lazy. Use this mercy to build your spiritual engine. Read that one extra page of Quran. Stay that extra 10 minutes after Fajr. Smile at your brother even when your head is throbbing from lack of caffeine. These small acts in the first 10 days are the bricks of your palace in Jannah. When the world around you is obsessed with the iftar parties and the social aspect of the month, stay focused on the unseen gaze. Remind yourself, the King is looking at me tonight. If I can just win His mercy in these first 10 days, the rest of the month will be a breeze. You are not preparing for Ramadan. You are in the heart of it from the very first Allahu Akbar of the first Taraweeh. Treat every day of this first third as if it were Laylatul Qadr itself. Because for some people, the mercy they receive in the first 10 days is so powerful that it carries them for the rest of their lives. Don't wait for the end to start your journey. The gates are open now. The angels are writing now. The mercy is falling now. Make this the year where you don't just survive the first 10 days, but you conquer them. Build your foundation deep, so that when the winds of the last 10 nights blow, your soul remains unshakable, anchored in the mercy of the One who created the month.